That sucked, guys. It really did. How are you doing? All right, that was a little better. You're going to get louder as this hour goes on. We've got David Vincent right here. Right behind him, not that way, is DC Douglas. All right, the next hour's Q&A. You have the Q, they have the A, anything you want. This isn't the earlier panel, so you can ask whatever that is an under 18 panel would ask. We're not over 18. So they'll have the mics, I'll be walking around trying to get this one working. We might have to yell, but you can ask whatever you want. Put your hand up.
Get a battery for that.
Battery dead. Put your hand up, I will find you, I will come around, and you can ask whatever you want. That hand was first, so you're coming up, I'm coming to you. Hang on. What do you got?
David, how is it playing Richard in Tales of Graces F?
How is it playing Richard in Tales of Graces F? Real quick, for some of you who may be in here, just going to give you a quick breakdown of who I am. My name is David Vincent. I'm a voice actor, do quite a bit of anime. You would know me from anime shows like Gun Sword. I did Vaughn, Code Geass. I was Lee Shinkai. And Jirarara. I was Seiji Yagami. And then, of course, Blue Exorcist. Thank you very much. I'm here all day. Koga Kuchiki. Yes, for Bleach. And then Fate Zero. Is anybody watching the new Fate Zero that's coming out? Start watching. It's I'm playing Gilgamesh in Fate Zero, and then of course I see a Grimjow over here, Grimjow Jaggerjack from Bleach, and video games. Any Gene Kisaragi fans? Blaze Blue, yes. Woo! Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to introduce myself. DC, why don't you tell who you are?
I've also been known for. I'm sorry. Oh, you mean me? I have hot knees. Does anyone want to come up here and feel my knee? I'm serious. Come here. Come here. Tell people that I have a hot knee. Just right here.
It is hot.
It is, isn't it? Isn't that trippy?
They're all like,
Is that a hot knee?
Yeah.
I get hot knees and I don't know why. I think it's like a hot flash, except it's only right there. It's menopause. I'm sorry, what's that? All right, so I'm DC Douglas, and you might know me from Resident Evil. For the last 5 games, and Legion and Mass Effect 2 and 3, and Tactus, and also the Geth Elder, and then also Chase from Transformers Rescue Bots on the Hub. Second season should be airing soon. No, oh, the one fan back there, you baby. Where are the 6-year-olds when I need them? And as far as anime stuff, actually, I'll be joining the Blaze Blue family soon. I can't tell you what I play, but he's big. And I'm also, for anime-wise, Alexei and Tales of Vesperia, is that right? Yeah, thank you, see, that's an anime crowd. I'm really crappy at remembering anime stuff. I was in Tales of F, right? Tales of Graces F, yes.
What'd you play in Tales?
I'm President Paradine, or Paradine, or I was a president. Yeah, I was me.
Oh, president.
And then I was anime stuff. I was in a couple, like a special for Hajimoto Champion Road, Hajimoto Depot. Yeah. Whatever you just said. And then also Hack. Anybody did Doc Hack? Yeah, Taihaku. And also, but my favorite is what's his name? The big guy. Gabby. I know knows Gabby. Well, he's fun. All right, that's me. I do this film and TV stuff. Dog with a Blog on Disney Channel coming up next month. Woo! Yeah, whatever. All right, we were both on 90210 in the 90s. All right, that's me. Now back to the question. To David.
Question was how was it working, or how was it doing Richard in Tales of Graces? You know what my favorite part of doing Richard was? He is a troll. He is a troll. My favorite part of doing Richard from Tales of Graces is because he's kind of a sophisticated character. And they do these cutscenes at the end, and it's kind of I guess it's a gag where they're doing jokes. And Richard, because throughout the entire the game, he's a very sophisticated guy, right? And he gets to just kind of let loose, and he all of a sudden becomes a game show host with the Mask of Barona. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, he was a fun character. You know, he's super sophisticated, but at the same time, as a voice actor, for me, it was fulfilling because I got to have a lot of fun with that aspect of Richard. It was great.
Next question's right here.
Okay, my question is, with this whole voice acting gig, between going to different places to voice and different like conventions, like how much traveling is for this job? Because I mean, I saw you at KnightroKon. Like,
Yeah,
a couple
baby.
years ago.
Listen, Florida's in love with me.
You know, I'm just curious, like, how busy is it for you guys? And if it's like controllable, or if that just comes with the job?
Well, I'll jump in for this quickly. The voiceover actually has usually no travel involved unless you're lucky enough, like this guy, to go to Japan for a mocap gig. Or I got my first full-on mocap gig that was in San Francisco, which was unusual, because usually everything is in LA. So for voiceover, I'm usually never going anywhere. Or I did the opening for Hercules, Young Hercules. Actually, my voice was younger then too. It was Young Hercules. Anyway, I did the opening voiceover then, but they actually flew me to Canada for a day to do that voiceover, which is was ridiculous, because you had ISDN then too. But usually, that's the thing, you have ISDN or Phone Patch or the Source Connect. So we go into a studio in LA, we can record anywhere. We usually don't travel. So the traveling all truly is, this is a fringe benefit of being in the voiceover world, and primarily in anime, and now video games, thank God, because otherwise you guys probably wouldn't care that I was here. And so the traveling it either can be like a couple in a year, or for me this last year's been insane. This is my 18th flight I think I took this year to get here. So it's, well, I count the planes now. So it can be, but it's all manageable because you work it, it's usually weekends and you work it around your schedule and whatnot. Oh my God, the Hulk.
Awesome. Yeah, typically the majority of the voiceover work stuff that you do is going to be in Los Angeles. I have gotten to travel on occasion. Like DC had said, I got to go to Japan. I also recorded a video game in China, which was really neat. It was called The Last Remnant. It's a Wii game. It's a Last Remnant, or no, Infinite Undiscovery. I'm sorry, what it was called. And yeah, same production company. But as far as doing more and more of these, I'm now starting to do a lot more. I've got a number of appearances coming up this year. I'm actually going to be headed over to the UK to do a couple appearances there, and then I've got a number that are going to be coming up here in the fall, over the summer and in the fall in Ohio. I've got one in West Virginia.
Which are Ohio?
MatsuriCon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so MatsuriCon. So yeah, I'm doing, I think, 12 appearances this year. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and as DC said, it's definitely a fringe benefit of it's the icing on the cake. Because here's the part, being a voice actor is so much fun. We really enjoy the work, but getting to come to cons and meet you guys, that's the icing on the cake, okay? Is getting to meet you guys, talk to you guys about the shows, and hear what you enjoyed about it. That's a lot of fun for us, so there's a lot of perks to it.
Next question, right
Good
now.
question. 12 to 13?
This year's big year, as far as cons, yeah.
Jeff? 12 to 13. Where is he? Oh, there you are.
How is voicing Jin? Because I feel like he's kind of out there, so I wonder, would that be like weird for you? Or?
No, Jin Kisaragi, for those of you who aren't familiar with the game, is one of the main characters, playable characters in Blaze Blue. And Jin Kisaragi is a really fun character to voice because Jin is a guy who has a very weird obsession with his brother. And so what's fun about voicing Jin Kisaragi is I get to, a lot of the stuff that I have, the interaction that I have with the other characters are a lot of fun. But my favorite part is when Ragna the Blood Edge, comes into play. Because Jin just gets a little bit crazy whenever Ragna's there around. Hit! It's so good to see you, brother. Now I get to kill you again. You know, so for that, to me, being able to take it to that level is a blast. One of my favorite characters to play. And it was a little weird in the beginning, but just have fun with it.
What kind of shoes are you wearing?
These are Keens.
Jeans. They're not.
Yes.
They're not.
Crocs.
They're not Crocs. It is a Croc.
No.
They're Antifa.
For a moment there, I thought we both were wearing Crocs.
What's that?
I thought we were both wearing Crocs, but no.
No, these are Keens.
I haven't tried the Keens. They knew that.
All right, moving on to non-footwear questions. Anybody have a question? Right here.
Mexican food burps are horrible.
You're next.
On a previous Q&A on Twitter, one of my friends asked you if as Legion, if you supported the Mama Luigi initiative. You answered that you only support Papa Smurf. Have you upgraded, or is this still a problem?
Listen, until Mama Luigi gets in contact with me and we work out some private details, it's Papa all the way. I'm sorry, but thank you for that excellent question. By the way, every now and then if I get too drunk, I do resort to Twitter for Q&As when I'm bored, just so you know.
All right, we're over here now.
Are you on Twitter, by the way?
I'm just now getting on Twitter.
You are? What's your handle?
I've got a fan club that has put up my Twitter and they're running it. So
excuse
they
me.
Oh, you send them stuff? Oh, what is your Twitter handle?
Hey, I don't want to interrupt your conversation, but there's a
Well,
question.
there are people here that like Twitter, so.
Yes. You know what? If you want, go to my Facebook. It's facebook.com/DavidVincentVA. And friend me, and then I'll hook you up with the club and Twitter and all that cool stuff.
Yay. And I'm DC_Douglas on Twitter, and then, or just type DC Douglas in Google and see all my naked pictures.
This question is for DC. I was going through your website looking at random videos, and in one of them, I didn't guess get the full story. If you could explain it about your whole drunk dialing to.
I didn't think it would come up. You never know when this comes up.
Freedom Works or something.
All right. Well, first off, I was not drunk, but I've turned it into a joke. This is if I had video playback, I'd show you the video. Let's hear it for right-wing nut jobs. Okay, I got one person to worry about. All right. Essentially, back in 2010, I got in trouble with the Tea Party because I called one of their AstroTurf organizations and I left a message and I basically said, "Are they retarded?" And they found out that I was an actor, and well, I guess they thought I was famous enough that if they put out a story about me that they could raise money off of it. And so they did. And because I had just posted that I had a new Geico campaign, which was true, it was an internet campaign, but I had done Geico a couple years earlier. I was on the famous one with the famous people going at like, Alex Garcia is a real Geico client, or real Geico customer, not a celebrity. So to help tell our story, we hired a celebrity, and it would be, oh, you remember, right? So it'd be one of the stars doing it. So I did that for a couple of years, bought me a house, and but anyway, so that was done. I was on a new one for the internet, small campaign, but I posted on Facebook. FreedomWorks had my voicemail from when I left that message. Saw that I did that, went to Breitbart.com, those of you who don't know, BigGovernment.com or whatever, they're a big right-wing thing. This was during an election year, so they posted, and they conflated me with the lizard, which I was not. And they said, "Is the Geico lizard a Tea Party crasher?" And then they said, "Call Geico, let them know that you're not a mentally retarded killer, and call DC Douglas, and here's his phone number he left at the voicemail," and they posted the voicemail with my phone number. And then, so that happened. In a day, it got crazy. I ended up losing the gig of the small one with Geico, which was like, I totally dig it. They were getting all these calls. But then I said, okay, if I've lost the gig, I'm going after them. Because, no, they shouldn't be able to do that. So then I went back and I put out a press release, and it hit on a slow news day. Fox News picked it up, and it was breaking news for the day. And I used a pseudonym, Lance Baxter, which is a character I do in a show. And I Lance, so I used that name, Lance Baxter, better known to people as DC Douglas, the voice of Geico, and then showing the lizard, and it's like it just shows you how stupid the media is. And they ran with it, and then MSNBC decided to run a story to defend me, and then all of a sudden I'm getting calls from Fox and Friends wanting me to come on the show, and I ended up doing Geraldo to battle it or whatever. And then about a month later, I'm like, oh, there's all this crap on the internet. You do DC Douglas, and the first 3 pages are all, DC Douglas is a mentally retarded libtard or whatever. And so finally, I got together some friends, and we put together a PSA. If you ever want to see, you can go on it's really easy to find. It's teapartypsa.com. And it's a 4-minute PSA, joke PSA. Basically, don't drunk dial, freedom works. And so that's the story. I put that out there, and it kind of put a nice little end chapter to that whole ridiculous thing. But from it, I got more work. I lost like 2 clients, but I gained like 10 other clients. And I gained like 3,000 followers in 3 days. And it's like, well, thank you. You just kind of shot me to a new level. Apparently, I'm so famous that even Jon Stewart did a mock thing about me that week. And it's like, so cool, it's all publicity is good publicity ultimately, especially if you don't run away from it and be scared, and instead you stand up for what you believe and go for it, and that's what I did.
DC, I play a lot of Mass Effect, so...
Dude. It's okay, man, talk to me.
I just wanted to know, does this unit have a soul?
Does this unit have a soul? Or is it, no, actually go down, don't I? No, actually it depends on which version you play. Yes, does it? Why not? No. Listen, it's all energy, isn't it? So, I mean, there's no way to know any of the answers. As we were saying before, you can't know the story until you're dead. You don't know what the meaning of it is. And I also think that ultimately, a lot of these larger ontological, is that right, the word? Ontological questions that we have, these existential questions that we have, really, there's no way our little brains can fully comprehend it. So one would assume if there's any kind of consciousness after death, that we'll be able to have a better understanding, an accurate understanding. Assuming that there is not, I can at least go with this, that science has the best pathway for us, and that everything is made up of energy, of atoms, and you cannot destroy energy, you can only make it inactive. Therefore, if you have a robot in front of you that asks that question, I would say yes! Yeah!
Next question's back here.
Jeff's like, DC's the weirdest freaking guest at a con.
What made you think of proposing through Gunexler?
Oh, wow, that's the first time I've ever been asked that. For those of you who don't know, yes, I did the voice for a series, an anime series called Gunsword, and I did the voice of the main character, Vaughn. And you'll notice on the last disc in the series, as a DVD extra, is a little vignette, okay, where I actually proposed to my then girlfriend, my now wife. And in real life, yeah. So I was working on the series, and I knew that she was the one, and I was gonna pop the question to her. And so I was working on the series. Liam O'Brien was directing, and Julian Beeston was the sound engineer, the audio engineer on the show. And I had just been racking my brain. I'm like, am I gonna do it in a restaurant? No. Am I gonna, just like, I had to come up with something creative. So I was on my way to the studio, and it just dawned on me. We had just recorded a scene. It was the very first episode. In the very first episode, my character that I'm voicing gets down, and he's talking to a girl, Wendy, on one knee in front of a church. And so I thought, here's an idea. Why don't I go ahead and see if I can redub? And so that's what we did. And so literally, just off the cuff, we're in the studio. We finished our session. I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna pop the question to my girl. What do you think about this? And so we did. And literally, in like, I think 2 minutes, I wrote out the dialogue. and we were able to match it to the lip flap, and let me go off script here for a second. Gacy. And went into the proposal, and then Julian did an amazing job of actually matching the lip flap with the dialogue that I came up with. And what happened was, they gave it to me. I went home and I used it to propose to my wife. She said yes. But the Japanese caught wind of it, and because it was just supposed to be just between me and her. The Japanese producers caught wind of it and loved it. And they called and asked if they could actually use it as a DVD extra, and that's how it wound up as an extra on the DVD release.
Did you charge them for the honeymoon?
I should have. Great question. I've never been asked that before.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah, it's different.
All right.
Guy with a good haircut.
Oh, there it is. Next question's up here.
Oh, sorry.
David, this is for you.
Yes.
According in the Bleach anime, Grimjow dies supposedly at the end. Are you okay with that, or there's a point in the manga where he would have come back to life.
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather him stay RIP, or do you want to come back?
Of course I want him to come back. He's the coolest character ever. Grimjow Jaggerjack. Guys, yeah, exactly. But no, he's actually one of my favorite characters I've got in a voice. Such a cool character, such a jerk. You know? What's that?
Do you read the manga?
I haven't read the manga, but I have heard from people who have posted on my Facebook page of, I've heard that he's coming back. Is he coming back? I don't know. I don't know. I wish that they would let me in on the secret, but I have no idea. But I hope that he comes back.
Thank you.
Next one's right here.
First off, fantastic haircut, sir.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes, sir.
what is in your 7-layer dip that Troy Baker finds so simple?
Whoa, I heard 7-layer dip, which by the way I love. And then what was the rest of that?
What is in your 7-layer dip that Troy Baker finds so simple?
That I no idea.
I sent you a question on Twitter.
Oh, is this a Twitter question about 7-layer dip and Troy Baker?
Yeah.
Did I respond?
Yeah, you did.
What did I say?
Okay, the question was originally about if you guys would be willing to do a Star Wars parody for, Troy Baker plays Wester's son in Resident 6.
All right.
And then you said you kept your Star Wars role-playing to your parties. And then Troy Baker replied,
Oh, I missed this.
your 7-layer dip is simple.
Oh, what an asshole. My 7-layer dip is complex. He doesn't. You know what? Oh, I can't swear here. That poop man I've invited to poker 3 times and he's never responded. So, but as far as my 7-layer dip, okay, maybe it is store-bought, so he may have a point there. Thank you for the question and the mind exercise.
All right, next one's right here.
I'm gonna start doing more of those Twitter Q&As when I'm drunk. It's great because it comes back at me. I'm like, this is neat. I'm a funny guy. No, I'm not.
Okay, this is for both of you. When you guys are acting, do you...
Hi.
Hi again. This is for both of you this time. When you're acting, do you prefer to be the hero character, or do you prefer to be like an antagonist-like character?
You know what? That's a really, really good question. I love that question. For me, honestly, it's both. No, being evil, how can you beat it? You know? You get to chew on your words. And you're evil. So it's a lot of fun doing evil voices. But at the same time, when you're the hero, you get to have that ego boost. You can do no wrong in the world. So I find them both equally as fun. But I have to say, probably if I had to lean one way, maybe doing both.
I prefer the jobs that pay. So I'll do whatever you put in front of me. Oh wow, I really want to do an after-hours panel because there's like swear words at the end of everything I'm saying that I'm actually omitting, so my timing's a little weird. It's kind of funny. I would think whenever I get like hero stuff, I don't get because like the or even your voice like you get the guys who are just kind of cool and they have that kind of talk. Well, I do it, no one buys it. Maybe because there's too much bottom to it. I don't know. The closest I've been is I just did. Do you guys know Rune Factory? Yeah. Rune Factory 4 I'll be in. But apparently the goal of the game is to get married.
Yes.
That
It's
is.
to farm the white monster to get you.
That is so trippy. Well, all I know is my character is very sexy. He's got some issues, and he's a little, but once he falls in love with you, oh my god. Oh, and he's got long white hair. Anyway, but that's like the closest I've done to. I've been heroes. I always get the weird characters or the bad guys. When it's an anime, they want me to do announcer voice. So like, I think like Alexa, I sound like an announcer. I think Yeah, that's the only one I've done. No, I don't remember the other ones. But yeah, so I prefer his, and so I think we identify more when the hero is not flawed. It's not as it's just not as sexy.
Next one's back here.
David.
Yes.
What was it like playing Seiji under Rah-Rah?
Seiji?
Yes.
Seiji Yagami. Seiji Yagami is a 15-year-old boy in love with a disembodied head.
I should watch anime.
So yeah, this show is Durarara, and Durarara is just a fantastic show, but it's out there. There's a lot of different things happening in it. Seiji was a lot of fun. I got to go into a higher register in my voice, which normally I'm always down here doing stuff. So it was kind of cool to young him up a little bit, and I really enjoyed playing a character with as many facets as he did, and then the whole love, being in love with the disembodied head, and just having the complete craziness of it all. So it was a lot of fun. It's a great show. It's a really, really good show.
I love it.
Now, does he ever get to get it on with the head?
Can you imagine recording that?
Family show.
Family show.
Sorry.
Family.
Oh, there's so many jokes right now.
I know.
Family show.
My knees are very hot. But I'll just tweet them.
That answer will be on Twitter.
Okay, this is for both of you. What's the highlight of being a voice actor?
This? I would say this. I mean, the first stop is the money because you're getting paid, you get to pay your bills. But for me, the highlight is actually interacting with fans. The fact that there are fans, because for the longest time, voiceovers was anonymous and there was no fan base. So the fact that you can go do a job and that people know it and then respond to you and want and are kind and come up and want pictures and hugs and things like that. I mean, that's how remarkable is that? That's like it's a new phenomenon. It's not something that you got in the 70s, except for the very rare few. So for me, that this is the highlight. So.
I'm going to second that. This is the gravy, as far as I'm concerned, as far as being a voiceover actor, is getting to come and meet you guys. That is the best part, hands down. Yeah, I mean, you get to come and enjoy meeting people like you, and then go home and get stuck in traffic. Again, So,
which is the third highlight. So.
Yes, which is the third highlight. So yeah, coming to conventions is the best part for me about being a voice actor.
Next one's right here.
Hi. How are you? This is for Vincent. I got a question. What's the deal with Raymond Bester? Is he a villain or he's good because he's very confusing in Resident Evil Revelation?
Well, and that's the way they meant it to be. Here's the thing: is Raymond Vester? You never really know what he is. I mean, that's kind of the what makes Raymond Vester, and he's in Resident Evil Revelations. What makes him attractive is you don't know. You don't know, is this guy a good guy? Is he a bad guy? And I don't want to give away any spoilers, but there's the part with the mask thing, and you just don't know. What I'm hoping is this: I'm hoping that they're going to be bringing Raymond back for future.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Raymond is, even he's confusing, but he's really awesome.
Yeah, and he's a great character. He is a great character. So I think that they left it. They're smart people. They're leaving it that way for a reason. And there's a lot of mystery surrounding
I
it.
think he saved Parker 2 times already. And then in the end of the game, I don't know if somebody had played it, Jessica said, what's the deal? Why you say Parker? And he said, I got my reasons.
Exactly. And dun dun dun, leave it right there. So yeah, it's.
Can I ask you? You played the game all the way through, right? Yeah, she's got it there. You played it through?
I played Inferno.
Can you just tell me something? Am I still dead?
Yeah, you're still there. Sadly,
Somebody get me out of this volcano. Oh, it does?
It takes time between Resident Evil 5 and 6.
Oh yeah, no, he's dead. He's dead after 5.
Resident Evil 5 takes like
2005.
This one takes
This takes like 2005.
Wow, that's really confusing to fans, isn't it? Wow.
You're live, you know.
Yeah, Revelations is on the
I
Queen's
played
Zenobia.
4
It's
times the whole thing, and they don't say nothing about Wesker. I said, "What's going on here? It's not-
Sorry, I didn't mean to make it about me. No. A little bit.
All right, next
You
question.
let a legacy? At least.
Not yet.
He's not living up to the legacy.
We're back here now for the next one.
Oh, so sorry.
David, you had mentioned earlier that Grimjaw was one of your favorite characters to voice.
Yes.
What was your favorite part of voicing him in Bleach?
My favorite part of voicing Grimjaw and Bleach was just what, and we have a young audience here, but what a bad A he was. Okay, or is, we don't know yet, do we? Just like, on a guy with an attitude like he has more attitude than I could ever hope to have in real life. So getting to play somebody who has that, that attitude, pardon my language, for me was just amazing. I mean, it's just a fun character to just take him there, and really, and just the animosity that he has towards Ichigo. For me, it was just a lot of fun. A guy who was just obsessed with one thing, just obsessed with getting Ichigo. It's a lot of fun, you know. He has a lot of levels to him. Say something Grimjaw-like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah!
Okay. Remember my name, Soul Reaper. Grimjaw Jaggerjack. And you better pray that you never hear it again. Because if you do, you're a dead man. I promise.
Next question's right back here.
What do you think of Metal Gear?
For me?
Yes.
What do I think of Metal Gear?
Yes.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
I don't think I played it. I don't.
He loves it.
I love it. Fantastic. Sorry, I don't played it. Which game is that?
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not familiar enough. I know how popular it is, but I'm not familiar enough with the franchise to really have a solid opinion on it, I should say. Other than it's got to be a great franchise. DC?
I have to second everything he said. I've not played it either. But you know what? Nice title, great poster. What's that?
I said you're honest.
Yeah, why lie to you people? You'll figure it out. You'll know.
Is that the one Ryan is Ryan?
You know where I tweet.
That's Quentin. You can tweet about Quentin. Quentin's on that game.
Oh, is he?
He's Raiden, yes.
Oh, all right. Well, then it's probably a crappy game. So.
David, I'm a big fan of your work in Blaze Blue as Jane and how much you hate the moon. And I was wondering, have they brought you back to record stuff for Chrono Phantasma yet? Is there any news about a American localization?
You know what? I can neither confirm nor deny that. Here's the thing.
Oh, that's what I'm working on.
Yeah. Here's the thing, is oftentimes, just so you guys know, when we go to work on a project, we sign what are called non-disclosure agreements. And in those non-disclosure agreements, they will say you can't talk about this until we tell you you can talk about it.
I didn't sign that. I didn't, but I didn't know that was the full title of it. But I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
Do you hear how much you hate the moon?
how much I hate the moon?
And Jane?
Little. What does he say? Give me a line.
It's literally just I hate the moon. I don't know who wrote that song.
I remember all of the brother dialogue with I hate the moon. That's
Some brother dialogue would be good too.
okay. No, I'll say I hate the moon and get on here.
To the moon, definitely.
Okay. It's so good to see you, brother. But I hate the moon!
When you get to the light and it reveals how they're fighting, how you're fighting, and you don't get to hide in darkness for your fighting.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Or you're bloated and the moon makes the water
Diarrhea.
All right, moving on.
I had a question, Dixie. Can you do your best Albert Wesker line?
I didn't think they were anything here.
I don't know what my best line is. I mean, I know what my favorite is, but I don't know if it's the best line.
He wants your favorite.
My favorite's really simple. I'll give you two. Okay, here's my favorite, which I think most of you have heard before, since I actually have a second residence here in Orlando at the cons. Ready? You will give me an egg. That's my favorite. I think most people prefer the things like in less. How much time? In less than 7? No, that's a different one. In less than 7 minutes, really? 7 minutes. In less than 7 minutes, we'll reach the optimal altitude for missile deployment, ensuring complete global. Shoot, I can't do that one.
There was a question about Haagen-Dazs line.
What?
Something about Haagen-Dazs.
Something about telling Chris Redfield to lay off the Haagen-Dazs.
Too much Haagen-Dazs crash!
Are there any animes that you tried out for that you didn't get the part for, or an anime that you liked that you wish you could voice for?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was in an earlier panel this morning, and one that I didn't want to be part of, I didn't get a part. Actually, my voice just simply wasn't right for it. Was Ergo Proxy.
No, you didn't get it because they didn't like you.
That's right. They said no bald guys.
There's a weird thing about bald people in LA.
Yeah.
Which character?
Vincent. I think Liam did Vincent.
You tried out for that and you didn't get it?
Nope. So yeah, but here's the thing: is as a voice actor, and this is what I tell people: is I teach voice acting, and one of the things that you need to understand that voice acting and a career in voice acting is 95% auditioning, 5% work. Okay, so you're going to audition for stuff all the time that you don't get, and as you mature over the years, and as you do it over years and years and years and years, then you get to the point where you know what, you kind of do the audition, you think, oh, that'd be awesome, I'd love to have that part, but then you're going to move on.
Toilet paper.
Exactly.
Oh, you were here for the earlier one. Sorry. I always refer to the auditions as to me it's like toilet paper or it's lotto tickets. It's like you get it, you scratch, or you and then you're boom, you let it go. And if it comes back, you go, wait a minute, I thought I flushed. No. I think I need a new analogy. But it's funny when you asked the question, I was thinking, is there any? And I go, yeah, every one of them except for the ones I booked, I've lost.
Yeah.
But I think you go out for a lot more. Oh, I wanted to ask you though. I'm sorry. Can I segue? What do you teach virtually, or you just teach in Los Angeles in class?
I teach in Los Angeles. I also teach. I teach 3 courses in Los Angeles, and I'm starting to now. I'll go. We'll do workshops in different cities, and then I'm starting to do online.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So then they can find it through your Facebook.
Through my Facebook. Cool. Absolutely. David Vincent VA.
I like to pimp him.
I'll pimp you right back, buddy.
All right, next one.
I just want to be sure we can ask anything as long as it's age appropriate, right?
Right.
What's your favorite type of cheese?
I think it would be humor, and that itself is cheesy. I'm gonna with limited choices, I'll go with Chase. But if cheese. Wait, no, cheddar. Hello. But if I go, ooh, I think I need more coffee. But if I went, if I can have more choices, then I like the. What's that weird one? It starts with an. Oh, never mind. I don't remember. Yeah, does that help? Cheddar? Should I go look it up online? No. Yeah, cheddar. You can't go wrong with cheddar. Can you?
My favorite cheese is called Humboldt Fog.
Whoa.
Which, if you don't...
It's an answer. That's an answer.
It actually has ash in it. And it's a
like from Humboldt?
Yes.
What kind of ash?
It's actually made ash from Humboldt County. It's
Humboldt County ash is in your cheese.
I believe, yeah, it's a kind of an ash that comes with it, but it's a super fancy cheese.
I'm sorry, ash burnt from what? Yeah. In Humboldt County, they're lighting what?
I don't know what kind of ash it is. I believe it is cremation ash. exactly the ash comes from, but it's a super fancy cheese, and you have to act snooty when you eat it, and it's delicious. It's really good. I highly recommend trying it.
Made by Indica. Indica, made by Indica.
You do know there's a bacon cheese out there, right? I know that over well here, bacon cheese.
There's
No one
bacon
says
ice cream.
for mutton, I'm really surprised.
I got a question. Is in Bleach, when you did Koga Kushki, what do you thought while you were doing his voice?
What were my thoughts when I was doing Kogakuchiki?
Yeah, what do you thought about it?
You know what? I liked Koga. Kogakuchiki is it's in a different arc than the Arankar arc, or arch, I should say, in Bleach. Kogakuchiki is a tragic character, in my opinion. You know, what's that?
I cried.
You did?
He's my baby.
Yes, he's a tragic character. I mean, this guy, he just can't catch a break. And then, he gets put away for years, and he comes back old, and then he gets killed. Exactly, So, my thoughts on doing him, though, is from what I knew of the character and from what I understood, is I had a lot of empathy for him because he kind of goes through a rough time. He has a rough go of things.
He thought everybody was against him.
Everybody was against Koga. He was just kind of a lone wolf, if you will. But yeah, I mean, my thoughts on him was I had a lot of empathy for him because he was a hard luck character.
Did you notice something really funny and curious in Revelations?
Yeah.
I noticed it. You know the voice of Raymond, right? And you do Koga. Koga's the sword is Muramasa.
Is more what?
You know Muramasa.
Muramasa, yes.
You know there's a super rare weapon. It's called Muramasa in the game.
In Resident Evil?
Revelations, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's the one I use in Raid mode.
Oh, that's funny.
It is.
That's crazy. That's so funny.
That's why I love the game in Koga is also, even though he's so confusing. But
Yeah.
I feel bad for him in the end.
I did too.
And Wesker's dead in that, right?
Koga's dead. Now he'll be back.
I'm just looking for laughs, people.
All right, we'll do a post-Wesker question.
For days when you know you're going to be really strained, is there any routine you start out the day with? And has there any been a time where you made a mistake and you completely threw out your voice?
What do you do to prep when you're on your way into the
Yeah, because I'm trying to
studio?
learn anything I possibly can to make sure I don't do that.
Okay. Well, there's a couple things that you can do. And one of the things that I recommend is any theatrical training, or any theater training, or acting classes that you can do. They're going to teach you tricks, such as the red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, that type of stuff that you do. So there's all these vocal exercises that you can do to kind of warm up your voice. What I have evolved to doing over the years is I drive my truck on the way to the studio, and I turn up the radio and I listen to really bad country music, and I sing very poorly. And that is what, honestly, I just get to get my voice going and get warmed up as far as whenever I'm heading into the studio. As far as straining, and drink honey tea, and that'll kind of help to coat your or throat coat. Yeah, throat coat, right? Yeah, and that'll help. That'll help you to keep from straining your voice.
Or like what I do, I'm just a man, and I just do the job. No, I'm not a loogie. Wait, what was it?
You ever strain out your voice?
Strain your voice. No, I was gonna. You'd ask, have you ever been in a session and the voice go out kind of thing?
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. Like we were talking in the earlier panel, is that I avoid auditions where it says it's a strenuous voice thing. Because I'm just like I'm a little choosier now, or maybe I don't care about going in depth. But I've been on. I had a radio commercial where I was a preacher. It was a long time ago. It was for Papa John's, and it was a preacher going, "Papa John's, can I hear it now?" One of those kinds of things. Which you got to get that little thing going and all that. Which I had fun, but it was the weirdest thing that they had the choir that was supposed to. It was like a call answer thing. So the choir there recording at the same time. So and they'll go hallelujah and all of that. So they wanted it so perfect that we kept doing it. So literally by the second hour, my voice did go, and I sounded awesome. Sometimes the damage works, and so we went with it, and that's actually what ended up airing. But it was a radio spot, so no residuals, and it didn't really pay for the voice damage. Sorry, inside industry stuff.
Question to both of you, keeping it PG as much as possible. Have you ever used your voice acting skills to seduce a lady? Especially you, DC.
I've used it for men.
Can you tell a story too?
Well, you have a wife, so do you go first?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that I seduced my wife with that really amazing proposal that I did through Gunsword. No, I think that honestly, if I went up and said, "Hey babe, come here often," you could be like, "Are you a freak?" Come on! You know? No, I can't say that I've necessarily used it to seduce anybody.
Before I got into voiceover, and like now that I've done voiceover, I'm trained and I realize the power of the voice. I don't use it for evil. So, but I'll say before I got into voiceover, when I first moved to LA and I still had this low voice, I had a gig. One of my survival jobs was working at Stripogram, where they sent out the stripper. You know, you pay to send a stripper to somebody to give a message, and they strip all the way down to a G-string and all that. Obviously, I wasn't doing that. I was rail thin and all. And but I sold them. I was the guy. You'd call in, and I would describe what would happen, and then you'd order. You know, do you want the cop, the fireman? I forget the other two. There were like the four that I described, and we both did the male and the females. And so, but usually when it was they were calling in to ask about the male, they would patch it to me because I had that voice, and I go, so let me tell you what's going to happen. Cop's going to show up, and he's going to strip all the way down to a G-string. And during that time, and I'm like, and I really worked it, and I sold a lot of stripograms. So I used it for money, but I've never tried to use that voice to get any ducky. That would be wrong.
They want to see.
I gotta tell you, it's a little freaky though. If a girl wants me to talk as Albert Wesker, just because that like is a PG is like titillating or something, I mean, then that's kind of weird because then I'm like, you know, pay me. I'm working now.
He wants to know what you look like in a G-string.
Well, now I look good. Almost as good as he does. He has less body fat than I do.
All right, we got time for one last question. Front row. Can you yell, or do you want the mic?
Oh. Sorry, I just had a seizure.
Hi.
Hello.
Mark. I want to know who's your favorite character to like voice act as? Both of you.
Yeah. Do you have one?
My favorite character to voice act as? Probably be, well, obviously Grimjow. And Grimjow and Jin are two of my favorites, but also another one is Vaughn from Gunsword. Because he talks like this the whole time. Until he freaks out! That was a lot of fun.
I'm sorry. I like whatever's easiest. I'm a horrible person. I know this, but I like. So for me, it's when I get to go like Gabby. Gabby was because I just did this, and it was early morning, and I just talked like this. It was easy. Albert Wesker was hard because I had to go match so many other actors' performances, three other actors' performances, and blend them together, and then create my own, and then follow the Japanese direction, which was translated weirdly. So that was a hard thing. Legion would be one that I really enjoy, though they're actually, even for a simple voice, it's very specific as to where in the register it has to sit and how much emotion. So there's some difficulty. But Gabby was, I just gave it, I talked like Gabby, and it was okay. So yeah, but it's whenever it's in my sweet spot, I don't have to go far for it. I like that because I'm not a real artist. Was that it? That was the last one?
That was the last question.
You guys, great questions. Thank you.
Round of applause. All right, for those of you looking for autographs, they're both going to be staying right here. The line starts against the wall.